Let's return to tonight's top story. The Liberals are set to dump net zero tomorrow after today's marathon meeting where every Liberal had their say. And I'm joined now by Nationals MP Michael McCormack. Michael, good to see you. Thank you very much for your time. So the Liberals are still fiercely divided. While the majority support dumping net zero, there are still 17 moderate MPs who are fiercely backing the net zero targets. I spoke to some of them this afternoon. In my view, this indicates that the internal division will continue, the fact that they feel so strongly about net zero. Do you think it's going to be harder to fight the next election with the disunity we're seeing play out publicly with the Liberals?
Well, it's November 2025, Shari, and the next election is not due until 2028. And so let's see where we can go in the intervening period. It's a long time until the next election. There's going to be a lot of polls. There's going to be a lot of water passed under the bridge. Indeed, there's going to be a lot of coal dug up and iron ore dug up and exported overseas. So let's wait and see. We live in a democracy where majority rules and majority wins. And so those Liberals, those moderates who think that it's a good idea to hang on to this policy or to visit the Riverina electorate and talk to some of the farmers who have been carpet bombed lately with wind towers. They need to talk to some of the volunteer firefighters who are worried about putting out the fires from battery energy storage systems, the toxicity of those flames. And they should talk to some people for whom solar factories are becoming a blight on the landscape because they're taking up so much of the previously pristine arable farmland in this nation. And then they might just change their minds.
There's been a lot of speculation about the leadership in the coalition. Do you expect, as a former leader yourself, that both Susan Lee and David Littleproud will be the leadership team that take you to the next election?
Well, I hope so, because David Littleproud has certainly led from the front in this regard, and the National Party, once again, has shown the way. We showed the way on The Voice. We showed the way on nuclear, and we've certainly had our say first in relation to net zero. And Matt Canavan, of course, has been championing this from day dot. Susan Lee has only been the leader of the Liberal Party for 6 months. So let's give us some clear air. Let's allow the shadow cabinet to meet in the morning. Let's see the press conference tomorrow at midday where Susan Lee and Dan Tehan, and no doubt others too, will clearly articulate where they see the coalition going forward, and we'll certainly wait for all of those announcements and pronouncements. And regional Australia, and indeed all of Australia, will know that we're not going to deindustrialise Australia. We're not going to send our jobs overseas. We're going to have a manufacturing base here, but most importantly, for your viewers, we're going to address the crisis with the energy bills. And it is a crisis, make no mistake. It is an absolute crisis. Every quarter, when people open their bills, they should see Bowen's face, because the prices are now 40% higher than what they were when Labor took office in May 2022. And that is a tragedy. It is impoverishing pensioners. It's making people sleep in cars, and it's making everyday household budgets that much more difficult to adjust. And it's just not right in a country which should be blessed with cheap energy.
Look, it's extraordinary when you hear Chris Bowen in Parliament in question time on a regular basis saying that the wholesale prices are coming down, when everyone who opens their electricity bill and pays it know that it doesn't matter what the wholesale prices are doing, the retail prices, it's going up. And this is obviously what Andrew Hurst's research showed, that people are very, very worried about cost. I think we're just about out of time, but I was going to quickly ask you about one of the guiding principles is that you are still committed as a coalition to lowering emissions, but it's the priority is now affordability. Michael.
And we'll work with other nations. I spoke to Matt Canavan tonight, actually, and we'll still work with other nations to play our part, to do what we need to do in the international area, as far as on the international stage, as far as making sure that we lower emissions. And this is important. We need to play our part as a global player. But we're not going to do it at the expense of everyday, ordinary Mr. and Mrs. Average Australia. at the expense of farmers, at the expense of factory operators, at the expense of manufacturing, at the expense of Australia. We need to play our part in this area of global economics and global politics, but we're going to do it at the expense of sending this country broke and sending the people who rely on us to do the job for them broke. Yes, we have to obviously look after the climate. Of course we do, but we're not going to send Australia broke in trying to achieve that.
All right, Michael McCormack, appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sharon. Anytime at all.